Hey guys, what's up? My name is Fox and welcome to another video of mine. In this video, we're gonna talk about the most efficient all classes you should have and make. Now, if you only want to know what those classes are, here they are. It's Scouter, Shadowhunter, Bard, and Paladin. Thank you guys so much for watching. No, of course not. In this video, we will be talking about what those classes have that makes them so efficient. Now, if you only wanted to know the classes, you can already leave and also leave a like and subscribe, by the way. But now for those of you that are curious, what makes those classes so good, let's go over it, right? So, number one, we have obviously engravings. Now, for the engravings, specifically for Bard and Paladin, they can get away with less engravings than other classes. DPS at artifact level are required to have at least 4 engravings to be doing good damage. A maximum of 5 is obviously very nice, or even more is absolutely amazing. 5 engravings at full level is amazing, but 4 is the requirement. Now, supports, on the other hand, can easily get away with only 2.5 or 3 full engravings. Supports basically only need Awakening, Specialist, and then their class engraving to really shine already. While they can also add things like heavy armor if they want to, I don't know, be able to tank more damage, or obviously something like Spirit Absorption to just have better movement speed and casting speed. Those are very optional though. They don't add anything towards your team anymore. They don't increase your efficiency necessarily, yet they help you to perform better. But you only really need 3 engravings to shine as a support. So in the engraving department, you can already save yourself a chunk of gold and also optimization to still be accepted into parties, right? All right, that's point number 1. Number 2 will be the gems. Now, for those of you that don't know what gems are introduced in tier 2 and obviously in tier 3 and will be a damage increase or a cooldown reduction. They are basically found in chaos dungeons and the sun paths, and then you reroll them to fit the skill that you like. Now, I'm going to show you now how usually an alt should look like with their gems and how many gems they should have. As you can see here, my scrapper has a lot of gems and they all have damage amplification or cooldown reduction on the main skills that I use to just improve obviously my damage. Now, the value of those gems obviously is pretty high. We're looking probably at around 30k, 40k in gems, if not more. Now, on the characters that we mentioned before, the Demon, the Shadowhunter, the Scouter, the Bard, and Paladin, you need less gems. Specifically for the Scouter and the Demonic. Now, when I talk about Scouter and Demonic, we talk about transformation playstyles. So we talk about the Legacy playstyle on the Scouter and obviously the Dark Side playstyle on the Demonic. Now, what is so great about those two is that they only need 2 gems to excel. You have in the gems a section that is focused on the skills in your transformation. So basically, you just need 1 gem to increase all of your transformation skills, which is amazing. So if you want to invest a bit more into those classes, you can have 2 gems, a damage amplification and also a cooldown reduction. But you don't even really need the cooldown reduction that much, right? Still, you only need 1 or 2 gems. While as you saw on my Infighter, I needed many more gems to make that class actually stronger. The difference is quite significant. For now my 2 supports, the Bard and the Paladin, you also only need to focus on CDR gems. And honestly, you don't even really need them. They're optional. They help you to help your team more and to buff your team more, obviously. So it's just an additional source of helping your team, but trust me, you will get into parties without having that. Now, one thing that is very important for the 2 supports is that there is always a lack of supports, always. When you look at Party Finder, you will always find parties waiting for supports. This is why supports can get away with things like having less engravings and also having less gems. They don't really matter that much since people just want the support for the basic functionalities, which is healing and shielding and buffing. Now, obviously, we have more things. Another one of the things that is very important are the tripods. A normal DPS will need you to have multiple high tripods for them to be doing a lot of damage. Tripods are a significant damage increase or effect increase, for example, critical chance or critical damage, in order for them to unleash their full potential and do more damage. So, the thing with the two classes that we're again going to go back to, the Demonic and the Scouter, is that those two only need tripods for certain skills. The skills that are used to generate faster gauge. So you can get away with having 2 or 3 or 4 tripods for skills to just generate more gauge. And that's it. You don't need more. That's all that matters. You don't do damage outside of your form anyway, so you don't need to optimize them. Unless it's your main character, obviously you want to do that, right? If it's not your main character, you just slap 3 tripods, 4 tripods on your gear, and boom, you're set. You will transform faster, you will transform efficiently, and you're back into your damage form. The skills that you use during your transformation do not have tripods, so they cannot be increased and they cannot be optimized. Boom, another gold sink saved. Because getting a lot of tripods actually can be very costly, especially the max level tripods. It will be expensive because you have a 5 or 10% chance to put them on your gear, and to buy them from the market board, they can be around 3 to 5k gold depending on what class and what tripod we're talking about. But since you only have a 10% chance, it will take you at least 9 tries to get it on your gear, on average that is. So we're talking again here about 30 to 40,000 gold per tripod and per skill that you're saving on these alt characters. Now for Bard and for Paladin, tripods are great, don't get me wrong. You could optimize all the tripods you want, but guess what, again, you don't need to optimize them. That's the beauty. You don't need to optimize them because you don't need to do damage on those characters. Your damage is irrelevant anyway. You are a support. You just need to heal, to shield, and to buff. And the buffs are not even upgradable. They have no level 2 tripods. They're already at max level. So the important tripods, the most important tripods on your supports, are already maxed out and cannot be upgraded anyway. Some tripods like shield efficiently can be upgraded, but they're honestly not important. Another point that is also really great for those characters, not for the supports now, but for our Demonic and Scout, are the skill point requirements. Now, most classes obviously need you to have a lot of skill points because you want to pump your skills to max level to unlock as many tripods as possible. Scouter and Demonic, again, don't have skill points in their transformation form. Make them very good classes if you have a low amount of skill points. Just another thing on the side. Now, the last thing I want to really talk about from a point of view from our Paladin and Bard is the weapon level. Every DPS in this game needs to focus on the weapon level. You want to focus on your level and on the grades, most importantly. Those two things are very important because they increase your damage done. Bard and Paladin don't do really damage. So what exactly does the weapon help you with? The weapon helps you to increase your attack power, and your attack power plays a role in your buffs. All the 2 jobs do increase their buff efficiency if they have more attack power. But you don't really need that. Again, it's not super important. Obviously, again, if it's your main, this is a different story. We're talking about an alt here class, right? We're talking about the efficient alt. So you don't need to upgrade your weapon that much. You can have your gear a higher level than your weapon, while for every DPS, you want your weapon to be 2 or 3 grades or levels higher than your actual gear, so you do more damage. So this is another thing that supports can get away with, because upgrading the weapon and upgrading the grade of your weapon will be extremely expensive coming into endgame. We are talking multiple 100s of thousands of gold here, because if you are unlucky in RNG, it will cost you that much to actually get a very high-end grade weapon. And then we come to my last point. Now, all these classes have one thing in common. They have some form of sustain that other classes do not necessarily offer. The Demonic, every time she transforms, she regenerates some amount of health. So basically, you don't need to sip as many potions when you play Demonic. For the Scouter, he gets a massive shield shielding you from incoming damage, which translates again to not using as many potions. And obviously our 2 supports heal themselves all the time, which means you don't have to even think about sipping potions. So also from a point of view of using potions, these 4 classes are super efficient. And honestly, I think that's all I can talk about in this video. That's all I can mention about those supports or those classes I mentioned now. If you guys learned something today, if you guys think this video was good and you enjoyed it, make really sure to leave a like and subscribe. That is the easiest way to support me and help me grow as a content creator so I can continue providing good information to you guys and help you learn Lost Ark as good as possible. If you guys want to go the extra mile, you can also go follow me on Twitter and also can come around when I stream on my Twitch channel, which I do every week a few times if you have more questions or if you just want to see the current endgame, the Legion raids in Lost Ark. And on that note, we're done with the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you live.